Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Comfortable Spaces. My name is Danielle and I love to talk about affordable living and intentional homemaking. So if you are interested in that kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I'm excited to talk about the recipes that we're going to be making today. So before I get into the recipes, I actually wanted to talk to you about some of the decisions, the intentional decisions I have made over the years about health. One of the things that I've tried my best to do is to stay away from processed food as much as possible. Now here's the thing, I don't go crazy about it. I don't beat myself up if I have some sort of bagged or boxed item from time to time, but I try really hard to keep it out of my daily living because I want to keep my body as healthy as possible and I don't want to put all these extra additives into it that I don't need. So one of the ways that I realized that I was eating a lot of processed food, and honestly I didn't even think of it as a processed food until I really sat down and read the ingredients and all that kind of stuff, was cereal. And I love a good bowl of cereal. I love to have cereal in the morning. I love to have cereal. Actually, I really enjoy to have cereal late in the evening instead of having dessert. I'm I'm gonna have a bowl of cereal. That's just what I've always enjoyed. And I wanted to be able to figure out ways to make cereal so that I could still enjoy that little guilty pleasure of mine of having cereal without having all the extra additives and preservatives that boxed food gives you when they make stuff in a warehouse. So today we are going to be making 3 different types of cereal that you can make completely from scratch in your own kitchen, keep in jars in your house, and you can pull out whenever you want a nice bowl of cereal. Now, a lot of these ideas aren't going to be considered traditional things like Cocoa Puffs or Rice Krispies or Cheerios or anything like that. This is more of a just crunchy-like substance, more like granola-based ideas that you can put in with fruit and a nice bowl of milk and really enjoy. So with all of that being said, let's get into the recipes. So our very first breakfast cereal is going to be the Honey Nut Clusters. This is great because it is a no-bake cereal. The only thing you are going to need is a food processor. So grab your food processor and you're going to put half a cup of peanuts in there, half a cup of walnuts, and half a cup of pecans. After you get all those nuts in there, then you are going to put in 2 tablespoons of agave syrup or honey. I know I called this Honey Nut Clusters, but you can use agave just as easily. That's what I used here, and it was absolutely delicious. And then you're going to sprinkle some hemp seed over top. Just be as liberal or conservative as you want on the hemp seed. It is a great source of protein, and this particular cereal is a protein-packed cereal, which is what I love. It's something to really start your day off with a ton of protein, and it is delicious. And as you can see right here, I'm actually testing the nuts and I'm realizing that there was not enough sweetness in there. So I added the 2nd tablespoon of agave, and it came out fantastically. After it was all blended up in the food processor, I grabbed a simple ball glass jar and I loaded it up with the cereal so that I could keep it for later. And guys, this is so good. I absolutely loved this combination. Yep, that's right. Just tighten it on up and you're good to go for a few weeks there. And yeah, we've got dancing cereal because why not? We're excited about our cereal. And this particular one I put over yogurt with some blueberries. It was delicious. I absolutely loved it. The nuts and blueberry combo was like a nice little blueberry pie. Our second recipe is going to be the peanut butter granola. I absolutely love this recipe. I've been making it for years. It's one of my absolute favorites. So you're going to start off with 2 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats. I love to buy these in bulk because we use them all the time for oatmeal in the morning and to bake different types of things like this. And then you're going to use an entire cup of peanuts as well to mix on in there. I like to just sprinkle a little dash of vanilla extract for some extra flavor. Then you're you're gonna grab a half a teaspoon of sea salt, and you're gonna grab 1/3 cup of agave. You could tell I was struggling with the agave after the last recipe. This was really getting the very bottom of the barrel, but it all came out. So you're gonna have that 1/3 cup of agave, as well as 1/3 of a cup of peanut butter. This is gonna be your wet mixture that goes in that really keeps the entire thing mixed together and held together like a very good granola. Stir that all together, and you're gonna throw it onto a baking sheet. Now, what I love to do when I bake in the oven, whether it is granola or it is something like a spaghetti squash, whatever it might be, my bagels, whatever it is, I like to put it on a Silpat mat. I think Silpat mats are wonderful. They are just a silicone mat that you can stick on top of your baking sheet, and it is reusable. You wash it when you're done and you can reuse it over and over again. It cuts out wax paper and all of that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in one, I'll have one linked in the description below. So you're gonna bake that in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes at 350 degrees. The more you bake it, the crunchier it'll be. So that is totally up to you for exactly how long you want to put it in there. Throw that again into a mason jar, and you are good to go. This particular one I added bananas with, because bananas and peanut butter, like, you can't go wrong with that combination. It is delicious. And yes, I threw some milk over top of that, and that is a gaping bowl of milk, but listen, the more milk, the better. Our very last recipe is going to be the cinnamon sugar bites. This was by far my absolute favorite combination of everything that I created in this video. It was so, so good. So you are going to be starting off this recipe with 2 cups of the old-fashioned rolled oats once again. And then you're going to take half a teaspoon of cinnamon. You're also then going to add half a teaspoon of pumpkin spice, because let's face it, this is a fall inspired recipe and we're trying to get all of the fall fun flavors in this recipe at once. So throw in the pumpkin spice. And then you're going to put in 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, which is literally the cherry on top, and 1/2 cup of diced pecans. You can just take your pecans, put them on a cutting board, chop them on up for as thick or as fine as you would like them. Now this particular mixture right here, this is just your dry ingredient bowl. So you're gonna have 2 different bowls for this recipe. You're gonna have your dry ingredient bowl and your wet ingredient bowl. So once you get those pecans all chopped up, you're gonna add them into the bowl, and you're just gonna toss that around. Make sure it's nicely incorporated with each other and that everything is mixed together well. Once you're done with that, you're gonna grab your wet ingredient bowl and you're gonna start off with 1/4 cup of peanut butter. And then you're gonna add 3 tablespoons of coconut oil. Now, I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of coconut oil. I feel like anytime you put coconut oil in anything, it takes away the flavor of what you're trying to cook and it just makes it taste like coconut, but this was perfect. Then you're gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/2 cup of maple syrup. Now let us use real maple syrup here, people. None of that fake stuff. It won't be good. You want to use the real stuff. None of that sugar added extra stuff. Maple syrup is absolutely sweet on its own, so just get a nice jar of real maple syrup and mix that whole thing together until it is nice and well blended. And then you're going to pour it over your dry ingredients. Make sure you get all of that delicious goodness out of your one bowl and into the other, and then just mix all of those ingredients together until every single piece of your granola or your oats there is fully soaked in your wet ingredients. You want to make sure it is on every single piece so that it bakes nicely in the oven. You're once again going to put your mixture on your baking sheet. I again am using my Silpat mat because I told you it's phenomenal. It is a phenomenal contraption. I'm so grateful that I bought it, and I use it very regularly, multiple times a week. Once you have that fully smoothed out, you can then put it into the oven. You're gonna bake again for about 25 minutes at 350 degrees. And for this particular mixture, I added some apple slices and some extra cinnamon because it made it absolutely divine and a delicious fall enjoyment. Well, that is going to be it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed these recipes. If you recreate them in your own kitchen, I'd love for you to tag me on Instagram at Comfortable Spaces. I'd love to see your cereal bowls and what you guys are snacking on. Thank you so much for watching today. Please subscribe if you are new around here. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It helps me to understand what type of content people like. And I can't wait to see you back here. I've got a lot more videos coming up of different budgeting ideas and some renovations. We actually just kind of renovated this kitchen a little while back, so I have a video all about that coming up, and I can't wait to see you back on the channel soon. Bye!